Good morning, guys. We're starting out with some clouds in the Ozarks, but we're looking at this cluster of storms that's quickly getting towards the Kansas City area. It's going to get into the Ozarks by late this morning and early this afternoon. Again, for now, mostly quiet, a little bit in the way of a spotty shower and storm up around Lake of the Ozarks and Camdenton, but that's about it. It's 70 in Branson, 71 degrees in Springfield, so another warm start. At the pool today, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds with those scattered showers and storms arriving by 11 a.m. Temperatures in the middle 80s. Now, with these storms, we could have one or two be strong to severe. A marginal risk for everyone means 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, and localized flooding will be threats today. So you can see these storms get in here by early this afternoon. They push to the south by this evening. We'll have temperatures in the lower 80s to the north and near 90 to the south because of the difference in the rain arrival times, pretty much. Middle 80s in Springfield. We keep the storms through the evening and into the overnight. Then we set up the waves of heavy rain Thursday into Friday with 1 to 3 inches of rain possible by the time all is said and done, especially in our Missouri counties north of where that front will sit. So we'll likely need some flash flood watches to be issued later on today, so you want to keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, some elevated flooding conditions expected through Saturday. Joe, Lauren.
Color 10 is your local election headquarters. Even with small elections like we had yesterday, there's 6 ballot issues voted on throughout the Ozarks.
And we've got the results from those issues decided on during the special election. In Greene County, the Walnut Grove School District wanted a tax levy increase to build new elementary school classrooms and make other facility repairs. Voters decided against that proposition. In Camden County, the Fire Protection District wanted a tax levy increase as well. Yes, voters received 52% of the vote as voters approved that prop.
We go to Cedar County. A tax levy to improve the Cedar County Memorial Hospital was decided against. No votes get 51% there. Another close one in Lebanon as voters were asked about a tax increase for the Rural Fire Protection District. Yes votes there edge out the no's 51 to 49. Finally, in Laclede County, a question about whether to issue revenue bonds for a water district gets the go-ahead, passing with 65% of the vote.
Cheaper homes could soon be coming to Branson. There's talk about making a property on Fall Creek Road eligible for affordable housing incentives. The mayor and 3 aldermen attended a meeting hosted by the Country Bluff Estates Homeowners Association, who does not love the idea. About 80 people showed up, voicing their concerns about safety on a busy road. And another issue is property value. The association says current monthly costs are around $800, and if the project is approved, it could affect the value of their homes. We spoke to the president of the association, who says Fall Creek Road is dangerous.
There has been people that have been killed on that road trying to walk that road before. In the last couple of years, we've had 1 or 2 people that have died. And our concern is for the people that they're going to try to build these affordable housing for. Last thing we want is for somebody to get hurt.
Now, residents had a lot of questions for the aldermen, like if there would be any rental properties. City leaders did not vote on anything last night, but there will be another public meeting coming up August 13th.
Around the region for you, in response to national and local challenges, the governor of Arkansas is pushing for legislation condemning hate crimes.
Color 10's Hannah Zettel joins us with the details regarding what a new law could look like.
Well, that's right. The new rules would enhance the penalty for crimes targeted at people for race, religion, or ethnicity. After being asked, Governor Asa Hutchinson added that crimes against sexual orientation and gender identity would also be heavily punished under the new legislation. The governor says a majority of the states have this type of legislation already, but the natural state is one of 4 that does not. After one of the mass shootings over the weekend was found to be linked to white supremacy and rooted in hate, he says Arkansas needs to take a stand against it.
Needs to pass this legislation to send the strongest signal possible that we're not going to tolerate that type of hate.
Governor Hutchinson adds the timeline of this becoming a reality is still to be determined, but he would like to bring it forward with the General Assembly as soon as the opportunity presents itself.
Thank you very much, Hannah Zettel, this morning. Some victims of severe storms and flooding will now have a chance to take advantage of tax relief options. Multiple counties in the Ozarks were chosen, and now McDonald and Newton counties are being added to that list. If you're a victim of the storms or flooding that happened April 29th, you qualify for postponing certain filing deadlines. The IRS automatically identifies taxpayers located in the covered disaster area and automatically applies filing and payment relief. The full list of counties is on our website, and if you are outside the covered area and need help, you can still call the number on your screen, 866-562-5227.
A federal judge says the 3 Arkansas abortion restrictions she blocked in July will remain on hold while she considers a lawsuit challenging them. This is after the original preliminary injunction U.S. District Judge Christine Baker granted was set to expire tonight. That preliminary injunction blocks restrictions like prohibiting abortion after 18 weeks of pregnancy, the requirement that doctors who perform abortions are to be board certified or board eligible in obstetrics and gynecology, and the law prohibiting doctors from performing an abortion if the fetus is diagnosed with Down syndrome. Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge filed a notice that her office plans to appeal Baker's decision. Right now, a physician licensed to practice medicine in the state can perform abortions. If your regular Wednesday afternoon radio or TV show gets interrupted by an emergency alert, don't be too alarmed because it's just a test. The alert is the EPA's test of the National Emergency Alert System. That will happen at 1:20. That's in coordination with the Federal Communications Commission. It's a nationwide test going to radio and TV stations, but it will not be a message sent to your cell phones.
We look at what else is trending this morning now, and some incredible images coming out of Baltimore right now. Shocking at seeing some of the flooding going on. Elisa, you said you saw some of this too?
Yeah, I saw some pictures of this. Just incredible heavy rain. Wow, look at that wind knock over some of those poles there too. This area, I think, has seen some pretty significant flooding through the last couple of years as well.
Okay, I first started seeing pictures from about 8 hours ago, so something that broke maybe late last night or just before the early hours of this morning, and several water rescues are happening there as well.
All right, another trend happening right now. Everyone's talking about the Walt Disney bundle. They released this. You know, Disney Plus is going to be the new streaming service coming out.
Right.
They're offering the deal now to get Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu all for $13 a month.
Ooh.
I say, get that antenna, watch some Color 10. We're right over the air. But people will like this with all the streaming services.
I didn't realize Hulu was included in that because
that's a big draw, yeah.
Because Disney does own ESPN, so that doesn't shock me.
Right,
but
well, and a lot of shows that have been discontinued on Netflix are transitioning services, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
One last check of our forecast before we send you out the door here on this Wednesday, right?
We're looking at scattered showers and storms really starting today, lingering through Saturday. Heavy rain is a threat. Keep an eye out. We'll probably have some flash flood watches needed by the end of the day today.
All right, everyone, just watch out. Keep the Color 10 weather app handy for days like this. Enjoy that sunrise right now. We'll see you back here with a news update coming soon.